Hey guys, it's Nar Williams here on iNPLACENEWS LiTE for blogs and players. It's February 20th, 2008, which means someone got a spanking last night, and it was Hillary Clinton who got the smackety-smack up and down Wisconsin and Hawaii. The guy doing the spanking was one Barack Obama after capturing his 10th straight win in the Democratic primary race. The other big winner, of course, was John Bring the Pain McCain, who didn't really have to smack anyone around because, well, let's face it, Huckabee is already down on the mat.
Momentum is certainly on the side of John McCain and Barack Obama. Both cruised to new victories Tuesday in contests in Wisconsin, Washington State, and Hawaii.
I am grateful to the people of Wisconsin.
For the Democrats, Wisconsin was the battleground. Hillary Clinton had an edge in some polls, but in the end, Obama surged, winning by roughly 17 points. Both candidates were quick to turn their attention to major contests on March 4th. Obama headed to Texas.
The change we seek is still months and miles away. We will need you to fight for every delegate it takes to win this nomination. And if we win the nomination, if we are blessed and honored to win the nomination, then we're going to need your help to win the election in November.
Clinton made no mention of her defeat as she stumped in Ohio.
Both Senator Obama and I would make history, but only one of us is ready on day one to be commander-in-chief, ready to manage our economy, and ready to defeat the Republicans.
Obama also picked up a win in Hawaii, which saw a massive voter turnout in its caucus. The Illinois senator has now beaten Clinton in 10 straight contests. For the GOP, it remains a race to the delegate finish line for John McCain. Wins in Wisconsin and Washington State edged McCain closer to the 1,191 he needs to secure the nomination. He's already taking shots at Obama.
I will fight every moment of every day in this campaign to make sure Americans are not deceived by an eloquent but empty call for change.
McCain is still not alone in his party's race, though. Mike Huckabee says he's in it until McCain seals the deal.
Let me assure you that if it were ego, my ego doesn't enjoy getting these kind of evenings where we don't win the primary elections. So it's got to be something other than that, and it is. It's about convictions.
In addition to Texas and Ohio, voters in Vermont and Rhode Island also head to the polls on March 4th. Brian Thomas, The Associated Press.
And our douchebag of the day segment goes to a former middle school teacher in South Carolina who was sent to prison for 6 years on Tuesday for having sexual encounters with 5 teenage boys. She had these encounters in several locations, from motels to parking lots. Tensions ran high at the courthouse after the light sentence.
6 years behind bars. That's the sentence for a former South Carolina teacher. Her crime, having sexual encounters with 5 teenage boys.
I wish healing for each person affected by my carelessness, and offer my deepest and most sincere apologies to these young men, their families, and this community.
Prosecutors say Elena Ward met with the 14 and 15-year-olds, some who were students at the middle school where she taught, at a motel, behind a restaurant, and even on school grounds. Some members of the community are speaking out against her punishment, saying it's not tough enough.
Racist.
This minister says she got a light sentence because she's white and her victims were black.
Racist. Their children have been damaged for life, and who cares?
She got 6 years.
She raped those kids.
Local officials are brushing off Reverend Kennedy's claims, noting the judge presiding over the 24-year-old woman's case was black.
Well, did you see who the judge was? It's kind of hard to say it was a racist decision when we had Judge Manning on the bench. I mean, you can be dissatisfied with things, but racism doesn't play in this case at all.
Ward was originally sentenced to more than 60 years in prison for lewd act and criminal sexual conduct charges, but the punishments were downgraded. Police started investigating her last year when school officials found a note they believe she wrote to one of the boys. Mike Gracia, The Associated Press.
Get out the popcorn, kids, or perhaps astronaut candy is a little more apropos because the Navy's going to shoot down a satellite. Yeah! This is the America Ronald Reagan dreamed of. Yes, that's right. They feel the satellite is dangerous because of the fuel that is used to power it. Of course, this isn't an enemy spy satellite. It's our own dead spy satellite. But nonetheless, officials say it might take a day or more to determine whether the fuel tank on the wayward U.S. spy satellite has been destroyed by a missile fired to shoot it down. The shoot down is scheduled to take place tonight.
Looming outside of the Earth's atmosphere, an old satellite powered by toxic fuel that could pose a real threat if it comes crashing down to Earth. To prevent a possible mishap, the Pentagon says it's going to take it out. It's a feat never attempted before, and now word that the daring operation could take place as early as Wednesday night. The Pentagon says military officials plan to blast a crippled U.S. spy satellite out of the sky using a Navy heat-seeking missile. This would be the first real-world use of the Pentagon's missile defense network.
Secretary Gates has been empowered by President Bush to order the shoot-down, and based upon the advice he gets, he is prepared to do so from the road if necessary.
It would work like this. On order, a kill vehicle would be launched, carrying a non-explosive device on a path that would enable it to collide with the satellite and destroy the spacecraft by force of impact.
This is an action that is being contemplated and will be taken in order to help protect populations on the ground.
It's got to be a nearly perfect shot because military scientists say the impact needs to destroy the satellite just outside of the Earth's atmosphere so that no shrapnel will come crashing down to Earth. Senior military officers are evaluating the situation and will advise Defense Secretary Robert Gates on the best time to carry out the launch. Mike Gracia, The Associated Press.
And lastly today, President Bush said Wednesday that talk of the United States building new military bases in Africa to expand the U.S. influence is baloney. I like the word poppycock so much better. Bush made it clear that we ain't going to have no stinking bases in Africa. Now, here's what he really said.
We do not contemplate adding new bases. In other words, the purpose of this is not to add military bases. I know there's rumors in Ghana. All Bush is coming to do is try to convince you to put a big military base here. That's baloney.
And that's enough, Mr. President. Thank you very much. Have a chair. This has been In Place News LiTE. I'm Nar Williams. If you need more news, just go to InPlaceNews.com where we are streaming live every day. We got a whole bunch of news for you. You can either watch us by using our desktop player, downloading it to your desktop and watching it straight off your computer, or you can watch us through the website. But it's so much better off the desktop player. Why? Because you can scan the websites all you like when you watch us. Anyway, we're going to close things up with an AP News Minute. See you tomorrow, kids.
This is AP News Minute. Barack Obama has now won 10 in a row. The Democratic presidential frontrunner picked up wins in Wisconsin and Hawaii Tuesday. Republican John McCain also won in Wisconsin as well as Washington State. All candidates are now focusing on March 4th when 370 Democratic delegates are up for grabs in Texas, Ohio, Vermont, and Rhode Island. Western Indonesia has been rocked by a powerful earthquake. Officials say many buildings are damaged. Some injuries and deaths also have been reported. The quake had a preliminary magnitude of 7.6. President Bush is pushing trade and aid today in Ghana. It's the latest stop on what he's calling his mission of mercy to Africa. Ghana is a stable democracy that gets U.S. assistance to fight disease, build roads, train teachers, and expand markets for its products. The Pentagon could try tonight to shoot down a dead spy satellite. The Navy will launch a missile from a cruiser to blow up the bird that's carrying toxic fuel. Planes and ships are being told to steer clear of a section of the Pacific starting at 10:30 p.m. Eastern Time. John Belmont, The Associated Press, with AP News Minute.